Hello, and welcome back to Reset Talks, Thriving with Purpose, your weekly space to reframe, empower, strategize, evolve, and thrive. I'm your host, Ola Ifidon, and I'm so glad you're here today for episode 5, Career Reinvention, How to Pivot with Purpose. In our last episode, episode 4, we explored integration, how to align your career relationships and daily habits with your purpose. Today, we're going to zoom back into one of the most critical areas where many people struggle with alignment, their career. Because sometimes the biggest reset you need isn't just in your daily habits, but in the direction of your professional journey. So why does career reinvention matter? Here's the truth. Careers are no longer straight lines. For many of us, the idea of working 30 years in one role, one industry, or one company is gone. Instead, careers are filled with transitions, pivots, and reinventions. And that's not a bad thing. Reinvention isn't a sign of failure. In fact, it's a sign of growth. It means you've evolved, and your work now needs to catch up with who you've become. Think about it. You're not the same person you were 5 years ago. You've gained new experiences, new perspectives, and new strengths. And sometimes the career path that fit you then may no longer align with who you've become today. I've had to reinvent myself several times in my journey. Moving from consulting into corporate and digital strategy, from corporate back into entrepreneurship, and through each season, I discovered that pivots, though uncomfortable, were the very moments that unlocked new purpose. But here's the key. A pivot without purpose can feel like drifting. A pivot with purpose feels like destiny unfolding. So the core question is this: to pivot or to persist? So how do you know when it's time to reinvent yourself? How do you know when to pivot instead of persist? Here are 3 questions I want you to sit with. 1. Am I aligned with my values? 2. Am I growing, learning, and being stretched? 3. Am I making the kind of impact I want to make? If your honest answer is no consistently across these questions, then that's a signal. It may be time to explore a pivot. And listen, a pivot doesn't always mean leaving your job tomorrow. Sometimes it means reshaping your role, repositioning your skills, or even discovering passion in the work you already do. But ignoring the misalignment would only leave you feeling stuck. I'll share my own story. There was a season when I was thriving on paper. My career was progressing. I was ticking the boxes, but something was missing. I realized I had outgrown that version of myself. My values, passion, and vision had shifted, but my career had not. That's when I pressed reset. I pivoted, not recklessly, but strategically. I carried forward the skills I had built, but I positioned them in spaces that aligned with my purpose, strategy, transformation, and empowerment. That reinvention opened doors I never would have imagined, including writing books, launching this podcast, and leading conversations that inspire change. The truth is, your pivot might feel scary, but it can also unlock your most purposeful season. Now, let's talk about how to pivot with purpose, because pivoting for the sake of pivoting can leave you more frustrated. But pivoting with clarity and strategy creates momentum. So as a strategist, I've created the pivot framework to guide your reinvention. The framework itself spells pivot. So let's get started with the first letter in the pivot framework, P. Position, success, anew. So what does that mean? It means redefining what success means in this season of your life. Let it evolve as you do. Ask yourself, what does success look like in this season of my life? Success at 25 may not look the same as success at 45. So allow your definition to evolve. The next letter in the framework is I. Invest in yourself. Build confidence through reflection, upskilling, reskilling, and mentorship. Growth fuels reinvention. Give yourself the confidence boost you need. That may mean reflecting on your past wins, investing in upskilling, or surrounding yourself with mentors who believe in you. Now to the next letter in the framework, V. Value your skills. Leverage and repackage transferable strengths, such as leadership, problem solving, or communication skills for new opportunities. Don't throw away your past experiences. Instead, repackage them. For example, project management, communication, problem solving, leadership skills. These are skills that travel across industries and roles. The next letter in our framework is O. Outline your strategy. Create a clear plan. Research industries. Expand your network and refresh your personal brand. Don't leap blindly. Create a plan. Like I said, research industries, build your network, update your brand, and map out your transferable skills. And the last letter in our pivot framework is T. Take intentional steps. Test the waters before making a full transition. Take on projects, volunteer, start a side hustle, or pursue learning opportunities. Small steps reduce the risk and build confidence. Purposeful pivots are built on consistent action. Take small, intentional steps. Schedule that coffee chat. Enroll in that online class. Update your resume or LinkedIn profile. Purposeful pivots are rarely giant leaps. They're usually a series of courageous small steps. Test the waters before making a full transition. And remember, every pivot is a bridge, not a cliff. You're not starting from zero, you're starting from experience. Also, reinvention can look different for everyone. It could be vertical, which means growing deeper in your current field. Or it could be horizontal, which means shifting into a new industry. Or it could be entrepreneurial, which means starting your own business. The key is this: don't pivot out of frustration. Pivot towards purpose. So here are your reset action steps for this week. 1. Write down your current definition of success. Does it align with your values and your purpose today? 2. List at least 5 transferable skills you can carry into your new role or direction. And then 3. Identify one safe experiment you can try this month. Maybe a course, a stretch assignment, or a networking conversation in your field of interest. The goal here is to start small. Remember, small shifts can create big momentum. As we close, I want you to remember, your career is not a prison. It's a platform, and platforms can be redesigned, rebuilt, and elevated. So here's my affirmation for you this week. I'm not stuck. I have the power to reinvent, to pivot with purpose, and to align my career with the life I'm called to live. Next week, we'll talk about elevate, how to scale your purpose for greater influence and legacy. That conversation will show you how to take your purpose beyond survival and success and into impact and influence. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Thank you for joining me today on Reset Talks. Until next time, keep pressing reset, keep pivoting with purpose, and keep thriving with clarity. Till I come your way next time, this is Ola Ifidon, your host on Reset Talks. Have a fantastic week ahead. Bye for now.